Hello, friends. Good evening. This is Imtiaz. I'm from Uni Experts. Welcome to today's session. Today's expert talks. Today's session is about study overseas and how should you plan considering the current situation of COVID and what are the countries that you can consider and what is the situation and the process of different countries. So before we start the session, let me introduce myself. My name is Imtiaz. I've been into the student recruitment for the last 1.5 decade. I'm a co-founder and country head of Uni Experts, and I'm a chief career counselor as well. So to talk about Uni Experts is a student recruitment firm where all the experienced and certified counselors have came together, and we have established this brand, a student-friendly brand called Uni Expert. We are associated with more than 300 universities, and we keep the student priorities and student choice as our as paramount for us, and then we service them accordingly. So we have a lot of questions that we have received from our students' friends who have messaged us. So what we have done, we have compiled all those questions and we have categorized it considering the need and requirement of the student. So first we will answer the questions which are offline to us, and then we will move on and we will answer the live questions as well. So to start with, the first question was from Swati Reddy, and the question was, if I get a visa refusal, can I reapply? Swati, your question was not clear because which country you have been talking about the visa refusal, I'm not very sure, but let me tell you the reason. Every reason considering the country of your choice. If your visa is refused for US or Canada, yes, you can definitely reapply. There is no big problem. But in case if your visa is refused for Australia, you have to see what is the reason mentioned for your visa refusal, whether it is a GT reason or whether it is a problem of your financials or less funding that you have shown. So we need to rework on that. But if it is GTE, there will be a very less chances that you can reapply for an Australian visa. If it is UK visa, also the UK High Commission will UKVA will give you the complete detailing of your rejection, why the visa, why they have refused your visa, what was the reason. If the reason was about your interview, what all have been, the questions have been asked to you, and have you given the right answers or not. So everything will be considered and calculated before you reapply for your visa. So you do have chance to reapply for your visa, but it depends which country it is. The second question was from Arvind Gaud. May I know the fee structure of USA in detail? Arvind, there are thousands of universities available in the US, and it is categorized as state universities, private universities, and different other universities also. And considering the course of your choice, like which course that you want to get into, are you getting into a master's, are you getting into bachelor? So it depends on that, and then the fee structure will be calculated accordingly. To just to give you a brief idea about your programming, the fee structure. The annual fee will start from around $14,000 approximately from the universities, and it might go up to $50,000 also, considering what universities that you are selecting in. The best possible answer that you get is once you apply to the universities, universities will send you the I-20. I-20 will have the complete information, like what is your annual fees, how much scholarship that you're getting in, or any assistantship that you're getting in. So they'll calculate everything and they'll tell you that this is your net fees. So I-20 is authenticated in the right document to calculate what would be your fees and your living expenses out of it. So let me quickly glance through the other questions. So quite a few questions, has been in and around online study. So shall we consider online studies, or is online studies benefit or not? What should we do? So a lot of questions were in and around online studies. So let me tell you my suggestion. Being a counselor and being whatever the counseling that I have been taking care offline, online during the pandemic, and once we reopen our offices also, a lot of students have been asking us that online study is becoming something which is inevitable for anyone, and then can we go for online studies? It's completely a choice of a student whether to select online mode of studies or not, but considering the new normal, this is something that you should be prepared of. Because if I'll give you an example as well. Tomorrow, if you want to travel to UK for your masters or for whatever your higher education that you're looking at, you have both the choices. Either you can travel, go through the quarantine process, then settle in the university and take normal classes, or you can do it online also, sitting at home. You can mix it also, which is called blended learning or hybrid learning. That you can part of your studies you can take it online, and whenever you are fully prepared to travel to UK, you can go ahead and you can do your rest of the programs. The advantage of online study is, you can do it at your home, at your leisure, at your free time. Plus, you do have the choice of listening to a recorded lectures as well. Like sometimes you miss your class, or sometimes you want to know more about it. The universities are giving the opportunity for the students to to re-listen or to go through the classes again. So you have the access of recording of lecturers from your professors. You can register as per your choice. If I have to tell you again an example of Australia, instead of you doing 4 subjects or 3 subjects per semester, you can pick up 1 or 2 subjects of your choice. Do it with your pace. If you think that you can still do more, you can still do it, and you can add more units to your semester. So that possibility and that freedom is there in online or blended learning. The other thing, you can save your living expenses because you are at the leisure and the luxury of your home. So you can definitely, save the living expenses of your stay, your remaining travel, etc. So there are few advantages of online studies, undoubtedly. But if any student who is looking for a technical program or anything related to health science, for example, if you're a nursing student, or if your course demands more of a lab work or more of practical oriented learning is there in your program, for that students, online is not recommended, because you might have to depend more on your lab structures, etc. You might struggle a bit. So for them, we don't recommend to go online study. But normally, if you are looking for an MBA, IB, International Business, Masters of Management, IT, etc., yes, you can definitely start looking into it. We're going to do a proper session on online study as well. So I will highlight more points and the processes of online and blended learning very soon. If I go to the next question, can I travel to USA for May or a fall intake? Yes, you can definitely do that. May is a summer intake we generally call for USA. Our fall intake, which starts in September, you can definitely travel. US borders are quite open, but there is a procedure that you need to follow, which I will highlight in a minute to you. But yes, one second, just give me a sec. Yeah. So the students who wants to travel to US, yes, for May as well as for fall, you have the availability of traveling. You can definitely do it. So there is no problem about it. The other questions are related to. Okay, most of the questions again after the online study was related to Australia. So what is Australia process? How is it normal, or can we travel to Australia? How do we start the studies? So for everybody's benefit, let me tell you, Australia borders are not yet open. We still, I mean, nobody else is still having a clarity that when the borders will open. But very soon the borders might open. The borders might open very soon. But till then, the option for Australian student as of now, you can do it online. As far as the visa process is concerned, you can definitely go ahead and apply for your visa. There's no problem. We have seen visa approvals for February intake students. Either you can, once you pay the fee, get your COE and start online learning, or you can straight away apply for your visa, keep your visa ready. And whenever the borders are open, you can straight away travel to Australia. But as of now, the borders are not open, so that is something that we can take it. Again, give me a second. Okay, just one second, please. So the other question, okay, there are many students who are asking about the university support system as well. That how do the support system of university look like? Will the universities support us during the COVID and all? So universities are um, they're doing more than that what they could able to do during this COVID situation. So irrespective of the country, you talk about Australian universities are far ahead, and then same goes with UK, US, Canada as well. So the universities are preparing the students, whatever the hardship fund they required, whatever the support they required, they have been doing it. So the support system is still there. And if I have to tell you, the universities have introduced um, the scholarships, different types of scholarship. They increase the value of the scholarships also. So somebody who's joining online learning, online program and online learning, the students can avail this kind of scholarship. So you have Australia, UK, USA are have. I mean, these are the countries, and the different universities from these countries have they increased their price of the scholarship. So the universities are supportive. So there's no doubt about it. Um, Moving on, I already answered the online study one. Coming to the other questions were related to post-study work rights. Can we get post-study work rights if you study from India or if you do online study? Friends, there's one thing that I wanted to tell you. Your post-study work rights are intact if you are doing studies online. So that will not make any difference, because most of the, I mean, all the high commissions have very clearly said that the students who are studying online will not have any kind of an issue as far as the post-study work rights are concerned. So if I have to tell you, for Australia, the post-study work rights are intact. So if you are doing online, you can still get your post-study work rights of 2 to 4 years, considering which university location that you are studying in. For Canada, even if you're doing the full program online, um, they are fine to approve your post-study work rights. So there's no problem with Canada. So any higher education, like if you're getting into PG diploma to master, so that won't make any kind of a difference. For USA, the borders are open. You want to do it online, you can still do it. You have a choice of doing an online study, or you can go ahead and do a face-to-face study as well. So there's no problem with your OPT, or tomorrow if you qualify for H1B also, that is not going to make any kind of a difference. For UK, yes, there's something that you have to note. The students who started their online studies last intake, which is September 2020, these students should be there in UK by April 2021 to finish their final semester to be eligible for GAR, which is Graduate Immigration Route. So to qualify for your Graduate Immigration Route, you have to be there by April 2021, whoever have started their studies in September by 2020. The students who are starting this year, I mean Jan 2021, you should be there in UK by 27th of September 2021, I'm sorry, by September 2021 to avail your GIR. So that's how the process goes. So at least the last semester is something that you need to complete it in UK. So that is related to the post-study work rights. So rather, I'll just take a minute here. So moving on, the other question is anything has been, I mean, any less requirement of English test preparation? So if I have to rephrase this question, anything reduced as far as the English requirements are concerned for students who during the pandemic or because of COVID-19? My answer is no, because there is no, no university or no country has reduced their English requirement considering COVID-19, because the test prep centers are open and the test booking is also available for IELTS, PT, and TOEFL. So the student can go ahead and do the testing, and then they can apply for the universities. It is highly recommended that you have to have at least one English test results with you. You can have either IELTS, TOEFL, or PT. That's more than enough. Most of the universities are recognizing these tests. So it is, I mean, my answer is no, there's nothing less. And if I have to tell you, some universities have taken the English requirement to a new higher level as well. Considering the number of the students there and number of students who are coming in there. So the restrictions are slightly higher. So please prepare yourself. If you need any support in terms of IELTS preparation, whether it is face to face or online, please do contact uni experts. Our teams will be more than happy to, help you in the test preparations as well, and we do the booking and everything. Okay. Again, the next question is also related to English. Can I study in UK without IELTS? Yes, you can definitely do it. If you want to do your higher education in UK, there are universities which are offering courses without IELTS or without any English test. So that is possible. There's no problem about it. But if you ask my recommendation, please do have a test, or please do give your test. Before your admission or before your visa application, that make your profile very strong. Tomorrow, if you have a credibility interview from the universities or by the university representatives, tomorrow if UKVA also wants to check your genuinity of being an international student, so they will definitely evaluate your profile accordingly. And well, yes, if you have IELTS or if you have any other English test prep done for UK, your profile will be evaluated in a better way. So you can still do it without IELTS, but my recommendation is just let's have one test ready for yourself. Can we study in Canada with 5.5 IELTS? This is the question. I mean, this is again a very, I mean, I don't know, this is a very popular question that most of the student has asked for. That can we study in Canada with 5.5? And with my personal experience also, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of promotions on Facebook, Instagram, and here and there, stating, study in Canada with 5.5, all these kind of marketing. You can get admission. Okay, either even you can get admission without your IELTS or English language also from few colleges of Canada. They're happy to give you an admission with 5.5, or even if you don't have IELTS. But it doesn't mean that you can apply for your visa and you can start studying in Canada. Because what happens, the universities might, I mean, the colleges might give you the conditional admission that tomorrow you should provide your English examination result. It doesn't mean that you're going ahead with that 5.52 visa, because to get your Canada visa 6.0 at least is something that is recommended and that you should have. So that's my answer to you guys. Is Duolingo accepted by UK universities? There are some universities which are considering Duolingo. Yeah, it is accepted. You can take it online and you can produce your results. So you can contact uni experts or just drop us an email at info@uniexperts.com. One of our expert counselor will come back to you with a list of universities who are taking Duolingo, and we'll take the things forward from there. Okay. The other question is about summer and fall intake of US. So the question was next available intakes of the available in the US. So as of now, the summer intake is still available for students who wants to study in the US. Looking forward to study in the US for May intake. Yeah, there are very good universities available for your studies. Like you have Cleveland State, DePaul. You have University of Central Missouri. The deadlines are still there. The list is quite high for US summer. So you can contact us. You have our contact details in the caption and in the description. So you can definitely contact us, and we are more than happy to process your US application. For fall, the deadlines are still there, and the deadlines might be there till May for university application. But if you are looking for scholarship applications of US, the deadline might hit somewhere in March first week or by 15th of March. So before 15th of March, you should have your applications logged in with the universities to be considered for scholarship and for the students who are looking for fall intake. So normal application deadlines are there till May, but it's recommended that you apply as early as possible. The students who wants to process with uni experts for their US admissions and US processing, we are not charging anything. So all the service charges are waived off for the students who are looking for US studies, and we are even able to get you application fee waivers wherever is applicable, and we are happy to service you without charging anything. So please avail this offer from Uni Experts, and you can start your US applications as soon as possible. So these are the generic questions that are given. So again, if I have to categorize the question, because most of the questions were on the COVID, um, related to COVID and the process of it. This one last question about the fee structure. So most of the students has asked us what is the fee structures for different countries to complete their higher education. So if you're looking for US as a study destination, US fee structure starts from $14,000 per annum, as I told you earlier also. It might go up to 45,000 USD also per annum. So this is approximately that you can expect. If it is UK, sometimes it starts from for UK the annual tuition fee starts from 11,000 GBP pounds, to even it can go up to 35,000 pounds also. And if you get any scholarships and all, you can minus it from here. Australia for masters per annum it starts from 20,000 Australian dollars, and it can go even up to 60,000 Australian dollars considering um, the program and considering the university. And if you get any kind of scholarship, you can straight away minus that. And Australian universities are very um, student friendly in terms of giving different type of scholarships, whether you call it an academic excellence scholarship or bursaries or anything else. So for Canada, the program fee starts from 15,000 Canadian dollars, and it can go up to 25,000 or sometimes $40,000 as well. And again, as I told you, it depends on the university as well as the program that you're studying. Okay, considering the question that I said, most of the students' questions were in and around COVID related, and then what is the process related, considering the COVID situation. So let me go country by country. So if you talk about UK, UK has been quite open in terms of studies. So students can do online studies, and the students can even do face-to-face studies also. But the student who wants to travel to UK and start their studies, there is a certain process that you need to follow. So let me go through that process. Before 72 hours of your travel, you should have a test result, negative test result ready from the place of your travel. So please remember, it cannot be 72 hours or higher than that. It should be below 72 hours. Then once you plan your study, there will be a form called, it's an online form called locator form, which you need to fill, where you have to give the complete details of where are you staying, which is the location that you are staying here. And then there will be 10 days strict quarantine that you need to follow. So once you're done with your 10 days quarantine, you can straight away start your face-to-face studies in UK. So that's how UK process is all about. But in case if you are getting into Scotland, Scotland has updated their process on the 14th of February. Yeah, very recently, in fact. That the process will remain, half of the process will remain the same. So you have to have a negative test result before 72 hours of your travel. 10 days quarantine should be there, and the quarantine should be in hotels only, not at a private accommodation. In rest of the UK, you can even have your private accommodation or wherever you are getting into as your quarantine facility, but in Scotland it has to be a hotel. And after that, on the second day of you landing in Scotland, you need to do a test, and it should be negative. And on the eighth day as well, you have to have a negative test to start your face-to-face, studies. Coming to Canada, Canada also almost the same process. So within 24 hours to 72 hours old, test negative results should be there to start your travel. And then there will be a 10 days strict quarantine that you need to go through. You can have it at the hotels, or you can have it at the institution accommodation also. Approximately the cost will be around 2,000 CAD to 2,200 CAD. So around 2,000 to 2,200 Canadian dollars will be the expense for all these 10 days quarantine, which includes your meal, your accommodation, your test fee, etc. So that is one thing. The couple of provinces are still under lockdown, but most probably by Feb end, the lockdown will be over in Canada. and you can go ahead and do your online studies as well. So there's no problem about it. Coming to Australia, as I told you, the borders are not yet open. The students are welcome to do online studies, and because you're doing online studies, you get all the additional benefits as well. The early bird scholarship, the normal scholarship, and there are some fee discounts that universities are offering, so you can get that. And your post-study websites are intact, which I have already told you. But once we get more clarity on border opening from Australian government, so we could be more, we could be able to see the process and everything how it goes off. As far as US is concerned, for US also 72 hours, less than 72 hours old negative report is important, and then you need to have a self the government on this. And most of the US universities, the good thing is they are offering free quarantine facilities for their international students. So you can avail that as well. And you can be, I mean, you can be at the university quarantine if it is free, or if you want to get into something else, you can definitely do that. So these are the questions that we have received, and I hope I have answered all your questions right now. If you still have any further more questions, we'll be more than happy to answer. You just need to drop us a line at info@uniexperts.com. That's our email ID. So we'll be more than happy to answer any kind of queries that you have. And to start your processing for upcoming intakes, which is the summer, is going on for UK, US, and Canada as well. There are universities which are open for Canada. You can definitely apply. The March intake is still there for Australian universities. So if you would like to apply for Australia, please do contact us. So we'll be happy to process your applications. Um, for rest of the, I mean, I have almost covered everything, but furthermore, session information, please do follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and please be in touch with us. We'll keep you posted with a lot of exciting things coming up. And for any other questions, you have our contact details available. Either you can call us or you can just drop us an email. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So I wish you all the very best. I hope everybody is keeping safe. Stay safe. Our offices are fully functional. Just for your information, all our locations in Hyderabad, for Telangana in Hyderabad, for AP in Vijayawada, and for Kerala and Kochi. So we are fully functional. Please do drop us at our office. So if you need more information, or you can definitely call us or email us. Thank you so very much, friends, and I wish you all the very best. So see you soon in the next Expert Talks. Thank you.